This is the Recovery Lab.
Here we dive deep into the struggles, victories, and hope that stem from recovery.
No shame, no judgment, just truth, grace, and inspiration.
Let's walk this road together.
All right. Welcome back to Recovery Lab. It's episode 106. I'm David Sugg.
I'm Daniel Anderson.
And I'm with our guest, Chris Valentine, local serial entrepreneur, close buds. Super excited to have you on today. We're going to talk about the business you got going on, why you're in that business, how you found yourself in that business, what you love about it. And honestly, like every time I go in there, it's like a 12-step meeting. And I'm seeing homies from all different groups that I go to showing up because it works. And it's just like there's something going on in what you got over there that is helping a lot of people. People are willing to do the deal. They're willing to hop in that cold plunge, sit in the sauna, do that spiritual, emotional cleansing, do the work. It works. It's really, really exciting to see it happen, especially in Jackson, Mississippi, because I get burdened sometimes with like what's not going on in Jackson and hoping good things will come around. And you've got a really, really cool business model. I want to jump right into that. But first, I want to ask you about, just to qualify you as somebody who's battled addiction and has demons. It's cool to see what you've done with your business, but what's more cool is kind of like me is having that past, having that hard street struggle and turning it around and coming like a self-made entrepreneur, doing the deal. Like, I think for me, that's what I find most interesting about you and people like you is the guys that are just starting from less than zero, not one, but less than zero, and turn around and creating a business that's helping people, it's making a living, and just get fired up about, not just something, yeah, I'm selling some real estate or, oh yeah, I'm insurance. No, I'm in this thing. It's really, really cool. So tell me a little bit about the backstory. What was that last year like of battling some of that street stuff?
Well, first off, I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Obviously, I feel like our podcast started in the sauna. But so you mean like that you said the last year before shit got real?
Yeah.
So I'd been in a run of, in the opioid space. I've been in and out of the street life for a long time. And I had been in probably a 2, 3, maybe 4-year spiral. And ultimately, usually towards the end of it, you start making really stupid decisions. And it's questionable who you're hanging out with and you don't have any money. And then essentially my life stopped when I got arrested. That was in, September 29th of 2015. And I got arrested and I got 4 charges, possession of marijuana with intent, possession of heroin with intent. At that moment, I knew that my life was over. Like, it was over. And not only that, just from a junkie standpoint, I was like, you got 18 hours until shit's about to get real. And shit got real while I was in jail.
Yeah.
So I was in jail for a week, and I remember calling my dad, and I was like, dude, I'm done with this. Like, please come save me and get me out of here. And so I would say the next 3 years of my life, 2 to 3 years were hell.
Trying to kick it, was it back and forth?
Well,
or was it just recreating your life? Was that big of a challenge?
Once that happened to me, we were done as far as that my drug of choice. Like, it was over. I knew it was over. It was like your last dance. So I started detoxing in jail. I remember having to take a shower. I don't know how much detail of this is going to be helpful.
Yep, dude,
how much?
Bring it, bro.
Okay, hold on. Let me sip some water real quick. Shit's about to get real. In Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where they're like, she's at the police station and Charlie Sheen, she's like, what are you in for? He's like, drugs. That was my response when they're like, what are you in for? And I don't know why my response was heroin. So I was in the top bunk, and I just remember I was a vegetable. Like, I would bribe my bunkmate, which he called me heroin, by the way. That was my nickname for 6 days.
Yeah.
And he would I'd be like, you can have my cornbread or you can have multiple things off my tray if you will just hand it to me, because I was a vegetable. I was miserable. I mean, every strip and ounce of dignity that I had left was gone.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a bond hearing, you know, like when you're in jail, you sit there and you just wait. That's all you do. You just wait. And then you try and make friends with this weird social situation that you're in. And they're like, dude, he's like, heroin, you need to take a shower, bro. I was like, all right, all right. So I took a shower. Eventually I went to my bond hearing. My bond was $100,000. So 10%. So it was 10 grand. I do have some cool stories about being in there. I don't know how relevant they would be or, you know, but so anyway, do we need a funny story about me going into
Is
jail?
there a funny part of this? Because
There is a funny part.
I think
All
that's
right.
needed. Yep.
Let me take another sip of water.
yeah. So I mean, most of the folks, wherever I was getting locked up, you know, they were out there playing on their cell phone. Cell phone to me meant a phone that I could reach from my cell to on the wall. Like I didn't have all the other benefits that some of the other peers my class had. But yeah, getting locked up and going through a detox, man, like golly, nothing cool about it,
dude. Yeah, I remember. So I was in a cell with 2 other dudes for like 2 to 3 days. And then they moved me to Gin Pop, which was just like, it's a county holdup. So, I mean, it's just like 8 beds with a bukus of people. I mean, it's just totally overpopulated. There's no way it was legal. And so I get in there and the first thing I enter into that door, this dude comes up to me and he's got a Mississippi tattoo on his neck. And it's just worse than a jail tat. And there's like a star on there. It says Bay Springs. I mean, it looks like I wrote it with my left hand. And he said, "What's up, man? I'm Doughboy." And I was like, "What's up, bro?" He's like, "You straight?" And I'm just like, "I guess." Like, we're here in felony holdup, sure. And he's like, "Man, you walked in on something that happens 1 in every 10,000 times you're in jail." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then this dude that looks like Charles Manson and has an piece of aluminum foil on a plastic fork proceeds to go up to the socket on the wall where the TV is plugged up, you know, the 14-inch tube TV that's like playing the most depressing TV shows. And you can see it's just singed, like the bottom socket has just got black shit all over it.
popping sockets.
Charles Manson just pops the socket. He gets a piece of tissue paper lit. And then me and 4 or 5 grown men proceed to sit around a jet toilet while they're like pressing the button, and we smoke a prison cig.
Yes.
And it was like the size of a toothpick. I mean, it was just
of your life.
yeah. And given that I'm like I'm starting to really hit this detox, it's like that was appetizing at that moment. I felt pretty good about it. And then I just got on my top bunk with my bunk above my bunk mate, and I slept like a baby.
Yeah.
So a few more days pass by. I'm a vegetable. I feel like shit. I go to my bond hearing. I get out. Well, and like I said, my bail was $100K, which is just like, whoa, you know, it's just like whatever. Your mind is just like mud at that point. You can't really think about you're automatically in survival mode. So I get out. I remember my dad takes me to Dollar General, and I just got like every over-the-counter drug you can get. Oh, and also let's go back because you know, like when you get busted for drugs, the narcs are gonna pull you out at some point while you're in jail to try and like, you know, rattle you.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm good. I had 2 different storage units, and in one of these storage units, I knew I had like 10 Suboxone strips. So I was like, cool, I'll just get out. I'll get to the storage unit. It's gonna be a breeze. I can get through it. Well, the narc made sure to show me the cell phone photo because I guess he found a receipt of the storage unit, and he showed me a picture
Detective Jones.
Oh, He showed me a picture of the Suboxone strips, and I was like, this shit's about to get real. I was like, man,
no way out.
Because I didn't have a phone, I didn't have a computer. They took all my shit, all of it.
Yeah.
Because basically I got arrested at one spot, and then they're like, we're raiding your mom's house. And it's like, okay. So shit got real fast.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get out. Dad takes me to Dollar General. I go get Imodium, and like instantly, probably in Dollar General, I'm sure I took 10. You know, just like the only thing even close to any relief I'm gonna get. I remember going to Sonic and getting a large Coke, and I was like, I told myself, I was like, I will never, ever have to deal with this again. Like, I mean, it was all the variables. It was the detox was just getting started. I mean, really, it was how I felt about being arrested and just like exposed. And you know, after I get out, I learned that like my picture and my story was on the front page of the paper that I grew up in, the hometown that I grew up in. So it's like, cool. And my mom was the only person left there in Laurel. So I really didn't have like a significant connection to Laurel anymore. So my dad comes and gets me. He takes me to Brandon. He lives in Brandon. My stepmom was out of town. She didn't want me to be there anyway. And she's like, when I get home on Sunday, he better not be here. And I think I got out on a Friday. I remember sitting on the couch watching Mad Max with my dad, trying to like pretend that I didn't feel like I'd been run over by an 18-wheeler, which I very much did feel that way. It was by far, hands down, the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Just getting through that. And honestly, I didn't know that, like, only now do I know that like 12-step groups exist, rehab exists.
Mhm.
You can buy your own health insurance. Like that would have been really convenient information to have then.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm bonded out. I'm at my dad's house. So about time that Sunday rolls around, he goes and he checks me into the Hilton in Pearl across from the movie theater. It had continental breakfast. It had like I remember I had a bulge disc at that time. Like my back was jacked up, and it had a tub, like like a hot tub. And so for the next week, thug life,
Soaking.
white knuckle. I mean, it was like train spotting, So I sat there and there would be days that I didn't have any energy and I could barely get up and go eat the continental breakfast, or I didn't. I think he bought me a burner phone from Walgreens and I had a couple bucks to my name, and like I was just I remember sitting up there watching a Bo Jackson documentary and crying my eyes out. Because like to be inspired in a moment where I wanted to die was just, man, that was I needed that. And like I never forgot that. I never not knew who Bo Jackson was again. And like just like being really into this documentary and this video, and you're like, it's hard to accept, like, is this the lowest I've ever been in my life? So anyway, so how much detail you want me to go into, like, as far as my story, or
I mean, I think that's a pretty good description of how bad it was,
Yeah.
man. But since then, I mean, you've done some remarkable things. And I know for me, I have a very similar story. I was on the front page of my local paper on the news for some stuff that I did almost 25 years ago. It was changed my whole life, lowest I've ever been. Just brutal. And then, like, to fast forward 20 years and to be able to run a business with my wife that helps a lot of people, like, there's so much different stuff. I'd love to talk to you about how do we go from there to, like, yeah, we got this cool business that a lot of people are helped by and we enjoy doing. Because there's a lot of people listening that are sitting there and they're just right where we were, where you were at the Hilton, or
Right,
where I was 20
right.
years ago, going, how do I make my life? How do I get there? And I don't know, hearing our stories and kind of what it was like and what we're doing now, it's not all rosy, but I don't know. I'm super interested in really talking about the business that you
Yeah.
got going on now,
Yeah.
because you really are. You're helping a whole lot of
Yeah.
people in the same spots. And I'm walking into people every day that are coming off a detox or coming out of treatment, or they're working with a counselor or therapist that I know. They're like, hey, we've been recommended to come over here and jump in the cold plunge. So tell me, like, what attracted you to that business?
So, I've got the retail spot.
Mhm.
So around the time that the pandemic hit, so basically, long story short, I over the span of from that moment for the next 5 or 6 years, I did the whole house arrest probation thing, and
Yeah.
and I ended up in Jackson. And this was like 2018, 2019. I was an in-house photographer, videographer for a local ad agency. And needless to say, that didn't work out. And then I was unemployed. And then about the time the farm bill passed, all the CBD stuff and everything. So I started a CBD store, and that was like I call that my introduction to adulting.
Yeah.
Like I was starting to learn more about business and just like entrepreneurship. And it's like, you got to plan ahead, as like how you guys, like, what your business models are, properties, et cetera, et cetera. Like you just got to be on your feet and figure out what's your next move. So I did that for 3 or 4 years, which it still exists, but it's not the same that it once was. And then I came across this. It's
The
like
aqua,
the cold plunge stuff.
were you just like scrolling? Were you talking to some folks? 'Cause
Well, originally I was like, I thought I wanted to get back into the same business I was in.
Yeah.
Can I like go into that? You want me to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was like, I want to open a dispensary,
Mm.
because I saw all this stuff popping up, and I'm
Yeah.
like in the holistic space. And then I started kind of running the numbers on it, and it's just like, I don't think this is where my heart is anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's like I don't know. And I'm not dogging the dispensary life. I'm just saying, like, I want to check in. I don't want to check out.
Yeah. Am I
You know what I
helping?
mean?
Yeah.
Like, it helps a lot of people, but this is more of a real holistic thing. I mean, it's pretty basic. So I was scrolling on businesses for sale and I found this idea and I was like, okay, this is something.
Yeah.
And I'd been out to Lighthouse, to Zach's spot a couple of
Yeah.
times and done an ice bath. And so I was definitely interested in it. And I didn't realize that like there was a whole universe of this holistic space where people were doing contrast therapy and using all this stuff to kind of like dial in and optimize their lifestyles.
Yeah.
So then that's when I started working on that project and started figuring out, you know, and I had a better relationship with my bank and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, this could actually be doable.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems stable. And like this particular industry in general is blowing up and like people like us, like it's a non-negotiable when it comes to your personal well-being and emotional well-being. It's like, I mean, if I didn't have this, if it would have popped up exactly where it did,
I'd go
I
buy
would,
everything and put it in my house.
yeah,
I'd have
me and
to.
you would still be in the
Yeah.
sauna there together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's one of the things about being in Jackson is like because we are kind of behind, we get to bring things that other people aren't doing yet, and and not only do we benefit from bringing something really really cool, we've been for being first, like
Right.
setting that up, and you did that with rest and recovery.
Well, and you know, I did a little research and I was an OG Hotworks member. So like in 2019, 2020, I was one of the first ones to sign up. I remember I have a friend now who's like, she's a rest recovery member, but her and I used to compete. Like you would have an app and you go to Hotworks and you get points. You get points for doing your workouts and you track it on your watch. And her and I would go between like third and fourth, because the people that were first and second, like you're
They're
not
holding
keeping up with them.
Yeah.
They were like 100,000, 80,000. Then we're over here like 32, 33, 32, you know, like, and so I just think the irony that like, that now she's a member at Rest Recovery, but I was really into the sauna thing. And I was like, okay, this is cool. But something with that was missing. It's like, okay, this is cool. You're working out in the sauna, but like, what else? I didn't even realize that there was this whole other world of cold exposure that you could add to this and like the red light and everything like that. So yeah. And I think just kind of like, you know, knowing that that exists, and then like you might have a sauna at a gym, and then you might have like a cold plunge at the Healthplex, and like everyone has like had a cold plunge experience, but to create and have something that's exclusively not in a gym, it's not about working out. That's like, hey, go work out after this, or go work out, or you know, work out beforehand and come here, and to put it all in one space. I think that kind of like consolidates the experience, and also like it softens the noise. You go into a gym and you want to use a sauna, there's a lot going on, there's music playing, blah blah blah, like whereas with us it's kind of more like it's a spa vibe, as you know. Like it's just meant to be like not like low energy, but just, you know, it's more of a delicate process. You're not coming in there to work out.
Yeah.
You're coming in there to just like kind of sit with yourself, which I think is really powerful. And to be frank, dude, like I've evolved in the past 6 months.
Yeah.
Like I mean, of course, I always say be the example that you want to set. Like I have to be the example I want to set for myself. This person that exists in my head that's like does all these things, like I need to be that. So like I'm not gonna sit here and be doing all this stuff or have this stuff and be like, oh yeah, this is cool, have fun, enjoy. If you don't see me in there like on the verge of crying or praying or looking like I am about to lose it because I'm in 38-degree water or whatever, I've been in the sauna for 40 minutes, like something's off.
Yeah.
Like I need it too. And like, I don't know, it's become a part of like my whole emotional, spiritual, you know, just physical practice, which I'm like over the moon about.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that's hard in my 12-step work is we have the 12 steps and we kind of glance over step 11, which is seeking through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand him. It's really easy for us to talk about meditation and kind of just be like reading something out of a book. Some people do practice some legit meditation, but very, very few get the opportunity to do some of the stuff that we get to do at Rest and Recovery. Like really go in there, jump in a cold plunge and really hit like an inner wall. And we're like, I want to get out of this uncomfortable situation right now. I want to leave. I want to get out. And like, nope, I'm going to sit there 30 seconds. Cause that's what my addiction was. My addiction was, I want to change the way I feel. So I'd put something in me. I'd put something in me. I'd do something. I was always addicted to changing the way I feel. When you say you're going to get in the ice water for 3 minutes, you're literally learning every 30 seconds. No, I can tolerate pain. I can tolerate discomfort. I can sit here in a meditative state, focus on my breathing, do what I need to do. And it's like, it's added for me. It's like a place that I get to go do my step 11. When I sit in the sauna and I'm just like breathing in the air and I'm like, it's so freaking hot in here. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, but I'm just sitting there for 10 minutes and just thinking about nothing, just thinking about my breath and trying not to move. I don't get to do that kind of meditative work that I think the 12 steps want us to do, but we just don't have environments to do it in places that it's kind of accessible. So I think that's why I bump into so many of my 12 step homies in there. I'm talking about every time I go in there, we could start passing the basket and reading the syringe. I'm saying, I mean, it's always, Daniel, you're the legend of 365 in a day, right? I mean, 365.
Yeah.
I mean, Copeland, I mean, the thing is real. It's got real benefits, but every time I go in there, I'm seeing 12 step people. They love it. Can you tell me, I'm not into the science. I just know it's working for me. Can you tell me a little bit about the science behind some of the tools that you got in there?
Yeah. So yeah, and you know, I know you and I have talked about this before. I think the common denominator and why it's become such a melting pot of different types of people, especially like in recovery and in the, you know, exercise and athletic space, is like the common denominator is we want to better ourselves, optimize our lives. So it seems like that when you have that, you just have like such an eclectic group of people that come together. So okay, the science is, so essentially you got the sauna. So we do contrast therapy. So we start hot, start in the sauna, then we do a cold plunge, back in the sauna, then we do a cold plunge, then we do red light. Um, and it's kind of like shocking your body. So you know, you got the sauna, which the sauna is going to help you detox, get toxins out. It's going to really improve your circulation and your cardiovascular health. Then you hop out of there and you get in the cold plunge. So then you got that norepinephrine and dopamine release and the cold shock proteins, and then you know, it's the like your therm, it's like your brown fat burns because it's like your body's like, oh, it's cold. What do I do? So then it's like this calorie burning thing kicks in. So we start in the infrared and then we do cold. And then I know you kind of have your own routine, and I do too, but I go back and forth between the infrared. The infrared uses light to heat within. It's a little bit more, there's more scientific studies done behind it. It's the most popular now, but it gets to about 150. The traditional, as I always call it, the Arnold Schwarzenegger sauna. That's like, you know, 200. And I think the emotional crackheads, you can catch us in there for like 30 to 40 minutes. And it's just like,
dude.
man, I ain't seen any person that I know that's an emotional crackhead look like they're okay 25 to 30 minutes in there, which I definitely identify as one. And then that obviously the hot is just, it's a different feeling. I mean, you're pretty much just sweating it all out. But yeah, you know, so combining all those things really just like overall, I mean, it's like a purge. Like you're purging any toxin. You're getting your cardiovascular up. You know, you're just like shocking your body. And I always say, because I see like stuff come up on Instagram that's like, you know, this is about cold plunging that's like anti-science. To say, okay, so I want to clarify something about cold plunging. If you're trying to be a bodybuilder and you're trying to grow your biceps, tries, traps, whatever, like just do your routine before you go to the gym. Like obviously your muscles need to tear, your muscles need to be inflamed to get gains. Like, is it an end all be all? Not necessarily. You're not going to not be strong if you go do a burnout chest workout and then you cold plunge. But ideally you would do your contrast therapy beforehand and then go to the gym. But anyway, I always say, I mean, forget the scientific studies. Pull out a DBT card. Write about how your thoughts are after you do this whole routine or you do a cold plunge. I have not seen anything about mental health studies on the cold plunge. I mean,
dude, that's what it's all about for me.
That's what it's all
not
about.
It's not the physical. It's the, like you sit in there, like you touched on, like you sit in there and your body is literally telling you that you're going to die. Like there's no, like your body is saying, holy shit, like we need to get out of here immediately or we're going to die. And there's something about pushing through that and saying, no, we're okay. We're not in danger. We're going to be okay. Something about pushing through that, it sets the tone for everything else in your life, because you now believe and you know that if you push through this, you're going to feel better on the other side of it. And it happens every single time.
Every time. Well, and I will say that like the emotional regulation that you can get from the cold plunge is unrivaled. I can't tell you how many times, and that I come into my space like and I'm unregulated all the time. And then it's like I sat there earlier and I stared at that 38-degree plunge and I was like, man, I don't want to do this shit. But then I sat in there for 5 minutes and it's like, where did that come from? Then I get out of it. I just feel different. It's like it just forces you to like sit with yourself. And I think especially if you're in that space where you can kind of weave yourself in and out of these emotions and survival modes, if you're not like too far in survival mode, but sometimes that's helpful. I mean, and I think it's a case by case basis per person. You have to kind of decide what your body needs. You have to listen to your body and listen to your mind. But so anyway, weaving back into the final thing we do in the contrast therapy, which is red light. So red light is actually been around for a while, but it was kind of like retrofitted or advanced in the 90s from NASA so the astronauts could heal faster. Because essentially, you know, you're not orbiting anything specifically. So it's kind of like a sunlight like source without UV. I don't know, but essentially it's like in our panels, you know, you got near infrared and red light. So it's like every other is near infrared, but what it does is it hits the mitochondria of the cell and then it circulates red blood cells to bring to the sites. And then you just have more circulation. It helps with inflammation, helps with sleep. They actually use red light in battleships because it's like it doesn't affect your circadian biology. And like, so if you ever see a situation where there's like low red light, that's why. Because like we all these LED lights and stuff, your body's like, you know, I don't know how many million times. Yeah. It flickers a minute or an hour or whatever, but like you're am I supposed to go to sleep? Like your body's confused. So that's a thing. Like people setting up actual red lights and red light bulbs in their house after the sun goes down because your body doesn't get confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the contrast therapy that we normally prescribe in the recovery, like in that particular modality. And then obviously, as you know, we've got the deprivation tank, which is a float tank, which man, you got to do that.
I do.
You got to do that. I mean, it is because you never done it before.
I haven't, but I got such of a jam going on up there right now. I mean, the routine that I'm doing right now really takes about an hour and 15 minutes because I'm going and I'm getting a good burn in the sauna from doing like a 25-minute the first time. I'm probably doing then like you're showering off to get in the cold plunge. It's probably 35 minutes. I'm getting that's one round of sauna and then a cold plunge. Then I get another sauna in there, and then with my red light, it just takes me so much time. And I'm hooked on the hyperbaric, dude. Like the hyperbaric that's what's keeping me in my triathlon training. Like I know for a fact, like when I go in there and I do 4 bricks in a row and I'm running, swimming, biking for 4 days, I go spend an hour or 2 in that hyperbaric. Like I can feel the next morning. So I was like, I got it. And that's an hour sit. You're just sitting in there. So I mean, there's just not a whole lot of time left. I'd love to go do
I get
that.
it.
I love it, but it's just
I get it. No. And I always say, like, man, I wish somebody would just pay me to like work on myself, like a salary. Cause I came up with a new terminology today.
Yeah.
So you normally do what I call the emotional baptism, which is an hour of the hyperbaric chamber and then like a roughly an hour, whatever your wellness regimen in. Well, there's a new terminology. It's called the emotional exorcism.
There we go.
You have to do, and I no one's done it yet, including me. You do an hour in the chamber, then you do your wellness routine, then you take a shower and you do a float, which you're talking about at least that's going to take you at least 3 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought I would share that with you.
Yeah. I'm down. I'm down. I'll do it.
Dude, the float, something about the float, it's very similar to like those moments you're sitting in the sauna, it gets so still and so quiet. I feel like sometimes it's hard to rest. And even like in meditation, you know, like you know, you go to the classes or whatever, you're with other people and like it there. And that's the good thing about meditation is you do need to be distracted. You do need to have sounds and things and fragments of sounds going on to help you with your practice. But something about this float, it isolates all that where there is no noise. And you can just sit there and it's like the Dead Sea. You lay in the water and you float and you can put it on. I put it on 432 hertz earlier. And I was just like, man, I just started having these like almost like REM sleep idea, daydream things. Like it's kind of crazy. Like it's like you can get rest that you can't normally get even when you're asleep or you're like taking a nap or you're meditating or you're just, you know, chilling on the couch. So 10 out of 10 recommend.
Yeah, I need some. In our addiction recovery process, we're always just tyrannized, just tortured by that self, that
Mm,
voice that never stops, that comparing, that wondering what's going to happen
right.
next. I mean, Judge, I can just imagine getting in a sensory deprivation tank for an hour and just being left alone with self, but just there. And the things we discover when we're
Mm,
left to peace and quiet are the things we kind of observe that maybe matter, maybe don't matter. I mean, that's what the recovery is all about, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. It's just been like, wow, I am here now. I'm doing something I never thought I'd do before. I'm just with self. I'm just here. Let's see what we discovered. Let's see what we find. And every time I walk out of there, I'm in a better place, man.
oh, for
I
sure.
mean, the people laugh. They think we're in there like eating ecstasy or something. We come out grinning like Cheshire cats. I mean, like, because there's that coffee shop right there, and we just come out. My wife and I, we probably do about 2 sessions a week together, and we come out just grinning.
Yeah.
Like it's just feeling great. We're chill. You know what I'm saying? We're looking to, because we are relaxed and we're not looking to go do anything else. But we're always super super happy, and that glow, that feel,
Mm,
it lasts for probably like until we go to bed.
yeah.
If we come in at 4 or 5, it's like it's all night. We feel really great. And I tell you what, I didn't sleep. I have a horrible sleep, bad sleep stuff. But I have not really dreamed very much in probably the past 3 years. The first time I went in and did the whole regimen with you was the first night in 3 years that I had like legit dreams.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, maybe it was coincidence, maybe it was, but then went in the next time 2 days later and dreamed again. And ever since then, if I don't come in, if I miss 2 or 3 days, I don't remember my dream sleep. I don't have dream sleep. But if I go in and get like 2 or 3 sessions in a row, then I'm dreaming every one of those nights. So I
Mm,
know it's affecting my sleep pattern. And sleep is everything. I mean,
sleep is
if we're talking
everything.
about being, restless, irritable, and discontent in the 12-step world, and that's what makes us drink, it's like
Right.
if I'm sleeping and I'm rested and I'm happy, I'm 90% ahead of the addiction.
Right.
If I'm doing that stuff, and so like this is helping tremendously. I know that's why everybody's coming in and out. But what is it about that? Like how does it affect the sleep so much? Do you know anything about?
So, I mean, I have speculation. I know that because you always do red light, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
know the red light helps with the circadian biology. Honestly, I think the main thing is like get in the sauna because it's free exercise.
Mm.
It's free exercise. Man, I was in there earlier and I don't know if this is a pride thing or what it was, but like I got my heart rate up to 170
Just sitting in the heat.
sitting in the heat,
Yeah,
just baking in the
yeah.
sauna. But like you just burn calories. So it's like you feel like you did a workout.
Mhm.
And I think and then the shock from the cold plunge and then you add all the things together. I agree. Like I don't have to take anything to sleep. Like I can get a 70 score falling asleep on my couch because I'm just tired at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Um well, and like overall it's just easier to rest. And I think too, like kind of like you said, like, halt,
Yeah.
hungry, angry, lonely, tired, like all those things, like getting to where you can sort of regulate your physical and regulate your emotional, like you can sort of relax.
Mhm.
It's like a weird, like sober, like environmental forced relaxation.
And we can take charge in it too. I think it's frustrating sometimes when we're just told to like surrender and let go and just accept things. Like, no, there's something you can do. There's something physically you can do to go change your state. If you want to go for a jog and go hop in the sauna, you can change the way that you're feeling. You can change the way that you're thinking right now instead of just like, oh, just grin and bear it. Just tolerate that. Like, no, you can go do something right now for yourself that's going to change the way you feel in a healthy way. It's not going to have any adverse consequences. That's what I love about the whole thing.
For sure. And I mean, I think you and I both share like kind of in our lives and in our business practices and stuff, just kind of like boots on the ground, and I've just always been a resource guy. Like I'm always trying to, figure out what do I need to do? What's the next thing? How do I solve this? Et cetera, et cetera. And for me, it's just like I will literally do anything to better myself.
Mhm.
And that's where I see, and that's something that I've applied. This has become a part of my own, unique recovery practice. Period. But like, that's where I see when someone is like in a place where they're ready to let go for sure, is because they're willing to do whatever it takes to better themselves. Because like I know these are tools. I would be a fool to sit here with this and not use this on a regular basis. I mean, it's just it's a no brainer. It's a no brainer. Like it's gonna make your life better. And like I didn't realize that it was gonna like I didn't realize it was going to kind of like take its own form and character and have its own feet like it has. And it's been really cool to culminate and watch because, like, you know, it's its own thing, but also it's like it's a part of me. So I'm like really attached to the community of it. And like I don't have to go somewhere to be social. Like, I can just be in my space and be social and hang out with people that feel the same way that I do. And it's like we're all just trying to, like, you know, better our lives and optimize our experience and our health.
Tell me some of the success stories. I know you've seen a lot of people. I know that me and Rachel are success stories, but you've got some people in there who've had some pretty dramatic results.
Yeah. I don't know if she would. I
You don't have
haven't.
to say names, but you
Yeah.
can tell the story.
No,
That's a powerful story.
yeah, I do have a good friend that comes in, and she has epilepsy, and so she has seizures, and we kind of, I know she's got some holistic stuff that she's working on too that she takes, and that's been helpful. But since she's been doing the contrast therapy, I mean, I want to say I think the last time we spoke on it, it's been at least 2 months, maybe even 3, because she had a date that was like she kind of reset it because she had a seizure when she was asleep. But like it's been more time that I've literally watched her aura and her energy and her like just vibe just completely change. And like it's been so powerful. And I've been so and if she watches this, I'm not gonna name drop you because I don't have permission to do that. I know you may not care, but like I'm proud of you. You're awesome. And like I've been so inspired and honored to be in that journey with her and to watch her just like, you know, just do the work and like just for that to be able to help her that much. I mean, it's just, man, it's powerful. It's powerful. And like we have speculations of what we think some of the science of it is, but like, what does it matter?
If it's working, let's
If
keep
it's
doing
working,
it.
if it ain't broke,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, in our addiction, we knew this stuff's hurting us. You know, the best thing we could do is stop doing it. We found a way to do that, and now in our recovery, we're finding out things that may be helping, or as long as we're doing things that we know aren't hurting us, and we're going down this, knocking on doors and going through doors of things that might be helping. I think that's what it's all about, trying new things out. That's I'm so grateful to have it in my life because, like I said, it's given me a venue to do some of this deeper work, some of this self work that I just haven't had. I can go to meetings and I can talk to my sponsor, and I have to do that, but to be able to sit with self, be able to sit and like challenge my body, my spirit, my mind all at the same time in a safe place. Like that's next level recovery for me. It's really cool.
No, for sure. And you know, and I think too the sauna is a therapy box. When you get in the sauna with somebody, and I used to joke because when we were at 40 members, I would tell people 10% of our members are therapists. So you come here at the right time.
Yeah, freebie.
You might get a little free therapy session, you know?
Oh yeah. No, me and Zed get it all the time. I got one last night. He showed
Yeah.
up at 6 o'clock and I just hung around
Yeah.
like a groupie. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna hop in there. I'm gonna get a free one.
And I always like ask him, I'm just like, hey man, you might have asked you a question and was like, he's just like, yeah, come on, like bring it. And then we'll just talk. And it's kind of like too, you have a bro session because you're both trying to stay in there as long as you can.
Yeah.
You know, so the therapy starts to change a little bit once your heart rate gets to about 140. Like
let's get it out. Let's get it out.
It's like, oh yeah, man. So hold on, let me do some deep breathing for a second and think about what we're actually still talking about. Yeah, I've seen a lot of just shift mentally in people and the community side of it, and just like how you can just feel really connected coming in. And like I always am very encouraging of like, you know, if it is kind of packed, just sit in the sauna with someone, make a friend. Like this is a safe space, and it's like very much like an encouragement of just betterment. And I love seeing people that are new and they come in and they're like, they start coming 2 to 3 times a week. And it's like, it's codependency graduation. I always say that. It's like you come in the first time, all right, you're good. I'm going to walk you through it. Leave your phone in your locker. Second time, I don't mind guiding you through it as well. You know, and like I can keep an eye on you. Third time, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Keep your own time.
Yeah.
And then once you get to that point, of course we're there to support, but like we want to see, you know, people develop their own practice. And that's really cool to watch when someone, and I got another guy that comes in, man, and he in that 38 special, as we call it, it's which we have 3 plunges, 2 are at 48, and one is an inflatable that's 38, as you know. So it's 10 degrees colder. it's I don't know that there's any science behind it other than it's just really cold.
Really cold. Yeah.
It's like if you're really feeling emotionally unregulated, if you're open to it, feel free to hop in that. This guy, he came in and he never plunged before. And now I swear to you, he comes just about every single day.
Yeah.
And I know he had some back issues and we kind of worked some stuff out. He was using the PEMF paddles, which is like pulsing electromagnetic fields therapy. I know Rachel uses it some too. It's kind of like a TENS unit, but it just helps bring red blood cells to the side and kind of like pulse the muscle. And he's used that on his back a lot. And I've seen his just overall functionality and vibe change. And it's just it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, Rachel's had some pretty ongoing back issues. It comes and goes. It's really a pain in the ass because she doesn't like taking medicine. You know, ibuprofen or different stuff tears her stomach up. Of course, opioids are off the table, and there's just not a whole lot of solution. Going in there, it works every time. She goes in there and sits for 20 minutes, and she's pain free, like solid pain free for 8 to 9 hours. I mean, it really, really works. It's not just like hoodoo voodoo. Like she's sitting there saying, no, this feels great, and it's going to feel great for the next 5 to 6 hours. It's amazing. She doesn't have to take anything. She just gets that benefit. That's awesome. We're talking about hitting walls in the cold plunge or hitting walls in the sauna and talking about how that's related to recovery. But I really want to talk to you about kind of the entrepreneurship. I mean, I know me, I get this critic in my voice, in my head saying, how could I dare, go try to start this business or go try to do this thing? I'm not the right person for it. I don't deserve it. There's other people with, degrees and family backing or whatever, no criminal record. I can't, I'm not the guy, but I find myself doing it and just pushing through. I'm sure we've never really talked about that, but I know you've got to have that inner critic. You got to have some of that stuff. So what are some of the things that you do? And hey, if you want to jump in here too, as a budding entrepreneur, I mean, it's really, really hard when you come from just like I said, less than zero past. It's not like, oh, we're neutral or we're average. It's like, dude, no, we're coming out of here with Japanese made flip-flops and a ramen noodle, you know what I'm saying? Trying to put our lives back together. Like, what do you do? What are some of the tricks? What are some of the things that you're doing to make that possible?
So I know for me personally, it's like my like just my mental self-care is hands down the most important thing. And like my own recovery journey, and you and I have talked about this a little bit. My recovery journey is more emotional. It's like I didn't know what my feelings were. I didn't know how to feel my feelings, and I look at it as like going to the gym. Going to the gym is part of my practice. Going to some of these groups that I go to is part of my practice. The cold plunge, all the things, because like that inner critic, man, that comes in, it's like you're not good enough. You're gonna fail. Like these bills are too high. The overheads, this, that. And I think once you just like, recognize and establish that like a lot of this stuff is just having the balls to pull the trigger. And once you do that, and I mean, yeah, you're taking in a lot, but like it's that survival mindset of I'm not good enough, or my picture's on the front page of the paper, like I'm a piece of shit, whatever. I'm never gonna succeed. Once you start getting a hold of like your mental right now, I find that that's where I can start to like, dude, like you can just go outside and go for a walk. Like be grateful that you have a house.
Yeah.
Be grateful that you have a car. Be grateful that you're presented with opportunities that you can even start a business or buy a new property or have the wherewithal to like find the next thing that you can move into. And I think too, for me, a lot of the entrepreneurship is I don't know if this is a good thing, but it's kind of like the thrill of the chase.
Yeah.
It's like the next project. And I'm sure, do I make as much money as I would potentially like if I was working a salary job somewhere? Probably not. But ultimately, my freedom now is non-negotiable. Like I would rather have nothing but have freedom than to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like make a certain amount of money and be locked into a block of time where I'm not allowed to leave and I'm not allowed to do this. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having that job. It's just for me personally, I'm way too outside of the box.
Yeah, Rachel and I are unemployable at this
point.
We're unemployable, dude.
I've been fired from so many jobs, bro. I don't know that I've ever really had like a job. Like, I mean, yeah, for a short stint of time, because I was like on probation and I needed to tell my probation officer that I still had a job. But after that ship sailed, I was like, man, I don't think I can get along with people in this capacity. And like, even if, let's just say, if somebody offered me the dream job, I would still say,
you want to get back in the plunge.
Well,
you want to get your own place.
I would just say, sounds great. Let's do a 1099 and you can invoice my LLC. I will work with you.
Yeah.
I will not work for you. Because anybody can do that. That's just you know, that's just being more, you know, a better business person. Like,
Yeah.
well, and I think now too, now we have this track record, which I know we don't really think about and realize it, but like whatever your gross is or how, you know, your asset value and all that stuff. And like, you know, however much money you've run through a business, like well, I've got health insurance and I pay for it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've got job history. Like this is a new thing. I've got job history that I created.
Yeah.
And it's not the same schedule as like showing up to a corporation or doing all those things. But like, man, if it's something that calls you, make the jump.
Yeah.
Because if like there's a reason, like God put that in you to make you think about it, that like, hey, this could be a thing that's possible. And whether it works or it doesn't, it's gonna teach you invaluable lessons.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. You just gotta make the plunge, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, who do we become on this journey is almost more important than what are we doing in the business. I mean, that's what I
right.
really enjoy is like I have to grow. I have to change my mindset. I have to adopt new attitudes, new outlooks so I can do the next challenge. Because the old David, the David from 10 years ago, although he might have been a pretty good waiter, you know, a pretty good guy who was really doing good at work, he wasn't the David that could handle the problems and tasks of today. And I know the David that's today is not going to be able to handle the problems and tasks of the next 5 years. Like I've
Mm,
got to continue to grow. I've got to continue to learn new stuff, to make new relationships with other people and to be challenged. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that I meet up at Rest and Recovery, the guys who run their own
mhm,
business, whether they're a therapist or but I mean a lot of people that are doing the same thing that we're kind of doing just in a different capacity. And I think that going into a place like that and getting to build community, getting to hang out with people, getting to talk and getting to say, yeah, I'm having a rough time, but I'm figuring this stuff out. It's been really cool for me because being an entrepreneur is like living on an island. You know, you
mhm.
feel like everybody's like all the boats are going past you. You just left there. You don't know what you're going to do next. But being hanging around you and hanging around some of the other people I've met up there has just been amazing to see. Like, no, they're in there trying, they're doing something. And my favorite part about it is A, changing lives, but B, I really like creating jobs. Like
Mm,
I love that. I've noticed you've made some new hires since you've been up
mhm,
there. We're constantly hiring people to do work for us. We're working with people, but getting to be a part of like, cause that was in my addiction. I was in a hotel room or I was in a la la land, like I was so isolated. I didn't think about anything. But now I'm thinking about like, you know, am I paying this person enough? You know,
mhm.
is this job good for them? Will they do a good job? Will they enjoy it? And to look at society as something that I'm a part of, but also I can affect and change and make better. Like, dude, I've never had that fulfillment. And that's the coolest thing about being an entrepreneur is like I get to change society. I get to add to it. I don't know if you get that warm fuzzy whenever you make a hire, but it's really, really cool for me. I really love that.
So yeah, and I'm definitely still in kind of the building block stages of this new thing, but also I've noticed how much I've evolved and changed as an adult and in my own recovery journey, like with how I see relationships and
Mm,
like how important it is to make sure that like people that work for me feel good and they feel good about the job situation and I can effectively communicate and have the right boundaries and like a lot of that is like directly tied to this work that I've done and like codependency and family of origin stuff and like figuring out how like because man the old version of me was just like something happened I instantly was emotionally invested in it,
mhm.
you know, like just for instance on the way here like somebody's supposed to be at the retail spot and they're not there and I was just like you know what if they don't show up or if it doesn't happen today because they had a scheduling conflict it's fine like I've
That's
already
a
cold
miracle.
plunged today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's gonna be fine. Like the world's not gonna end.
Yeah.
But to just have that, like, to follow yourself in the journey and to see how your business evolves and how you handle business evolves, and like you just, I don't know, it's cool to watch and it is fulfilling to know that like this is a community. These are people that like I can hang out with, or like we could, you know, go eat dinner and like it's just a good vibe.
Mhm.
You know, and that's powerful. And as I move forward, I really like that's really something I want to do is to be able to provide more. Because like I'm more so in a I always say I can offer jobs. I don't I'm not really to the point of offering careers by any means yet, but like even just having a cool job,
Mhm.
you know, I always wanted cool jobs
Absolutely.
and I never maybe knew how to find them or I
Yeah.
was too busy, you know, being promiscuous. Uh
Yep.
but like yeah. you know, just seeing your own growth through the thing that you're building. I mean, like I said, the first business was introduction to adulting. This feels more like adulting.
Yeah.
Because you can't lie. You can't, there's no truth you can withhold. Like who you are is people see it, you know, and I've just become more transparent with who I am and where I'm at and how I conversate. And it's like, it just creates a space of intimacy, this particular thing. And I'm just really grateful for that.
Yeah. We're grateful to have you in the community, man. I'm really am glad the value that we get, what we pay, and how much time we spend up there are not like we spend a lot of time up there. I mean, we get a lot of benefit from it. Rachel and I had a really good session in there yesterday. I spent about 2 hours up there, did hyperbaric, and then I got to hang out with my buddy Zach, who's actually going to come on next week and talk about some stuff, some trauma work.
Okay.
But you guys who are listening, you know, like, share this podcast, but especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're somebody who's trying to think about doing something like super daunting, something that you don't think you could do, you know, me and Danny and Chris, we're all here to support you, and we'd love for you to, you know, comment or reach out to us if there's something that's just crazy that you're thinking about doing that you feel called to do. You know, let us know. Come on the podcast and talk about it. Reach out to some other peers, some other people, because that's what recovery is all about: is leaving the baggage behind and getting on a new train, going to do something new. If I didn't have the ability to recreate and to participate in life, then there'd be nothing worth living for. But the reality is I get to do things. Although I don't control the outcome, I get to decide how much I put into something. And when I pour myself into something, good things happen. My wife's always telling me about work. She's like, I don't care what you do, but when you put your heart and soul into something, good stuff happens. So just go put it into something. Just go do it. And she's right. What happens is when I operate in fear and I only go in halfway or 25%, don't really get honest, don't really pour myself into it, that's when I get negative results and I start to get that. That's when the critic really gets loud. When I jump into it, if nothing else, I forget about everything else. And that's like nirvana, just forgetting about all the drama. Just like, you know what? It might not be successful, but I hadn't thought about anything else but this challenge. And that's what's worse. So if you guys are out there struggling with something, challenging something, you're dealing with this stuff, reach out to us. We'd love to hear about it. So where do you want Rest and Recovery to go over the next couple of years? You want to see how this one pans out? You want to grow some more? You're looking at a different side business?
Yeah. So this has kind of been and I want to parlay off what you just said because that's powerful. And I think that all entrepreneurial steps are like year stages. And like stage one is like throwing shit at the wall. So like throw shit at the wall, but then know that like there is a step-by-step process to everything. It's not this unknown beast that you can't conquer. It's just like having a, you know, manual operating procedure of how to use something. So like, yeah, reach out to us or whoever if you have questions about. More than likely it's a logistical thing that one of us has gone through, I promise. But as far as Rest Recovery is concerned, I definitely want to I've got some ideas. This has been like school for me. I'm learning because I come from retail and I thought that like, okay, I can only sell this one thing or this one product. And like, that's not it. It's like, this is a new business that I just like business and I like trying things and starting stuff. But once I get this to a certain point, I would say we're probably about 60% where I want to be. As far as like the overall, like how many people we can accommodate, et cetera. And I need to know and see what this can really run and what the numbers look like. But I definitely would like to open some more, thinking about some, you know, possibly another one or two in the metro area and some other places that are a little bit, more busy, and we're not more busy, but just a different vibe where I think, cause it's one of those things, it's like a gym. You're not going to drive from Madison to come to work out at Fondren Fitness.
Right.
But if it's close to where you are, there's no reason why you wouldn't at least consider trying it out. But yeah, I want to open up some more locations and really, really know what the operation, the day to day of what this business looks like, which I think I'm starting to get a great idea of what that is.
There's a couple spots just right down the street.
Yeah.
You should really look into, I think. You should really, really look into that.
What, like commercial?
Expanding. Yeah. Yeah. Bringing one to Madison would be incredible.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking. I just didn't say it out loud. But Madison, Oxford, I'm looking into some stuff in Oxford.
Yeah.
I do think Madison could be great. I just know the price of rent here is it's a little bit more expensive, but you know, I thought about potentially creating a spa space that's bigger.
Yeah.
Where you could have, you know, 6 to 8 saunas, 6 to 8 plunges, and then you have
what was everybody talking about, the mothership? It was just like a 15 person
that's
sauna.
what it was
like,
called.
Bruh.
Yeah, in New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was talking to a friend who's moving to New York and I forgot what the name of that space was. And that's freaking cool.
So there's different models that we could
Yeah.
do. I've thought about like having a spot that I know you don't do yoga, but just having like an ongoing yoga class.
Mm,
Just like going like it doesn't stop. You know what I'm saying? Having instructors
right,
come in and go
right,
out. And so you go in,
right.
get a 15, 20-minute stretch, and then hop in the mothership sauna. You know, it's like holds 15 people. It's just hot. It's just a hot box. You know,
But no, I was just gonna say I love the idea of the membership models though.
yes.
And
Yeah.
seeing who shows up and how often and you get the best value because if you come in and it's unlimited and you use it, you're gonna get a great value.
Yeah.
And it's just it just feels more exclusive. It's not like, hey, let me sell you this thing, whatever. Just like, yeah, come for free the first time and sign up if you want or don't. It doesn't matter, but just like come try it. And then if you like it and you sign up, then you can come whenever you want to. So that's been really cool because it helps me focus on like, and because in my own journey, like my codependency is like I want to control everything. I want to control every transaction. My emotions are the moods of my gross in the retail space. And like, whereas with this, I can kind of just take a back seat to that and focus more on like community building and like outreach and stuff like that. And just having conversations. And I'm not locked into this like every sale of every moment.
Buy it.
Yeah, I'm locked
Yeah.
into the story. I'm locked
Yeah.
into helping. And like that, like that's what I want to do is help people. Like that's what brings me joy.
And a product business versus a service business are completely different. I mean, a product business is like my product's better than anybody else's, and you should buy it here because I deliver it to you with the most amount of trust. Whereas a service business is like, no, we're doing a certain thing here, and it's not going to be for everybody. But if it's for you, if you are the avatar we're looking for, you're going to love it.
Right.
And then
Exactly.
that's when you get to build that community of people that are just like every time we walk in the door, I'm bumping into a soulmate, even if I never met them.
Right.
Because like this, y'all are all doing the same thing that I'm looking for. I'm looking to improve my physical, emotional, and spiritual body in these machines, and it's working. And you're getting that.
Right. And then you got you got different levels and different like of where people are at in their journey and in their wellness experience or their recovery, et cetera, or their life. And it's that building that support, having that support system and like seeing random people make friends. You know, I love that so much.
Mhm.
I'm just like, I always try and, make people feel comfortable and safe. And like, hey, if you don't mind, there's someone in the traditional sauna right now. If you want to make a friend, I think you should go in this sauna next. And I usually 99 times out of 100, they're like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's just, that community and that service, I don't know, just, it makes you feel something.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's like, that's where, the thing is outside of what you can control. And like, you're building something that's bigger than you.
I want to say something real quick. So one of the things that I think stops a lot of people from pursuing their dreams is them having this idea and then, like you kind of touched on, not knowing like having this big picture. Well, I could never do that. I could never do that. 3 years ago, I had never listened to a podcast, much less been on a podcast. But I had this, God put this thing in my mind. He's like, I want you to go get involved with Drew Hassan's podcast in some way. And I was like, I don't know what a podcast is, much less I don't want to be on but there was something like, hold on, like more I thought about it. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll reach out to Drew and I'll get involved with this podcast in some way. And just as a result of me kind of listening to my heart, but also being okay with, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I have this passion. I have this thing on my heart that if I work hard, something good is going to happen. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know anything about the future. I don't know shit, but I know that if I'm passionate about something and I work really, really hard, the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to land in space. I may not go to Mars, but I'm going to land in space somewhere. So if you're considering starting your own business, especially for those of us in recovery, like it's hard for a lot of us. I'll speak for myself. It's hard for me to pour a bunch of time and effort into making somebody else rich. It's just, it's not in my blood. I love working hard. I love serving people, but it's not the same when I'm having to do that because this guy is telling me that I have to. So if you just have a passion or an idea and you think that this would be something that really fits well with you, but you don't know how to do it, great. Take one step forward. That's it. Just take one little step forward and see if that's something that fits with you. And if you get really, really excited about it, keep going. and keep going and keep going. Eventually, you're going to get to where you are, Chris. You're going to get to where you are, David. You're going to get to where I am. And even though you had no idea what you were doing, guess what? You worked hard. You never gave up. Most importantly, you never gave up.
Yeah.
And now, look at us now. Things are happening. Things are happening that we could have never imagined.
Mm-hmm.
And it all started with, well, for me, getting sober, and also, being willing to listen to the universe or God or whatever you want to say, being able to just listen and say, okay, maybe this is something that'll fit for me. I'm committed to working hard. I don't know what the future looks like, and that's okay, but I'm going to work hard. If you can do that, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Yeah. Showing up.
Dude. That's it.
Showing up, doing
That's
it.
all this stuff is.
Man, I wish we could probably sit around and talk about cold plunges and run a business. In fact, we probably ought to have you come back on some other time and just talking about business. Cause I mean, that's something that it's really hard for me to do. Is like, there's different AA meetings and stuff for like lawyers and judges and doctors and nurses and things. Like sometimes I want a 12-step meeting for entrepreneurs. Cause I feel like we got a certain set of problems that are just really unique to us. I mean, we have to, we don't get to hit the alarm clock and just not show up. We got, every time the phone rings, every time the alarm, we got to be there. You were on the phone right before we started solving some crises. Like they're always happening.
Hustling,
working.
Sure.
Yeah. But we're doing stuff that nobody else wants.
And it's not work. Like it's like
it's
we don't work
balance.
Yeah. It's fun. Like you're passionate about it. It's you just hustle and it doesn't feel bad.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you can emotionally regulate properly. You're not so triggered by everything. Triggers become almost a thing. They're like, I don't know, man. I have my moments, but I find that once I've started to work on my spiritual practice more and take it more seriously, it's easier to just kind of zen out and to take things one moment and one step at a time.
Triggers are opportunities for growth, period. End of story.
I got a property right now that's, and let's just say it needs improvement, and the neighbor feels like it needs improvement. And I've just blocked her on my phone about 6 months ago because I didn't want to hear from her anymore. Anyways, her attorney had my address and sent me a letter, and it was get this mess cleaned up in 30 days or else. And you know what? Because of my emotional regulation, I literally gave 0 fucks. So I was just like, all right, let's get over there and cut the grass. Let's figure it out. But normally, like, I would have gone and taken a dump in her yard.
Yeah.
Just blown it. And just like, you know what? She's probably having a bad day. Yeah, I'd be upset too. We'll do the next right thing as best we can, but I'm not going to let this thing we're doing the best we can with the resources we have available. All right, let's just keep going. But those literally used to drive me bonkers. I would lose sleep. I would just how am I going to get back at this person? It's just like, dude, it's just, she's upset because you didn't cut the grass. Just go cut the grass. Just be done with it. And amen. Done.
Right. How can I find the solution?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, instead of going to jail.
Well, and I always, exactly. And I always say there's, people that see solutions and people that see problems.
Yeah.
So and I know at times I've been somebody that can only focus on the problem, and I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to find the solution,
Well, you are, dude. You're finding solutions and you're bringing solutions, and I'm so glad to have you, A, in my world, B, to have you on the show today.
So I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, we got to get you back on, bro.
I would love to come back. I'm honored to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah, and just because I've done a lot of self work in the past year or so, and it's just been it's been cool to structure that. Yeah, it's just learning more about my emotions and where I'm at, because as you know, I do more of an emotional sobriety program, so it's been cool to be around you guys and be inspired by some fellow travelers, and they're in and out of different fellowships, but also adding the spice of the cold plunge and then the working out and all the things, and I don't know, it's just I feel like I've been really inspired lately, and so I'm really grateful to be here and to be friends with y'all.
Until next time.
We'll see ya on the Recovery Lab.
Thanks, bro.
Oh.